We are living single in this 90s kind of world. I'm glad I've got my girl. Get your head up right. Living single. All right, so y'all know that classic theme song from the classic Black TV show Living Single, starring Queen Latifah, Erica Alexander, T.K. Carson, um, Kim Coles, and I forget the original name for the character who played Obi, but starring those great black actors and actresses. So it premiered in 1993 on Fox. Mostly produced by black people. The show, of course, created and written by black people. Is about what is it? It is it Khadijah. It's Khadijah, Regine, and Meg. So it's about three girls living in an apartment, and then in the same apartment complex, upstairs in the second apartment are the two guys, which are their friends. Uh, Obi and Kyle. So you have you young 20 somethings living in the city, trying to figure out life. Either they're gonna go back to school or they starting businesses. Dating, relationships. The funny stuff that happens to you when you're young. Just a great show overall. And then you have this show called Friends, which premiered in 1994. Now, to people who watch this video, I just want to say I am a fan of the show Friends. I do not have a vendetta or anything against the show, but we are going to get into it. So, Friends is literally a direct copy from the show Living Single. As you can see, Living Single premiered first. It was pitched to Fox 2 years, before it aired. And then, of course, anytime a black person pitches a TV show uh, to a white station, they always get somebody and to create a white version of it. So what they did was they went on and created a white version of of, of Living Single and Made Friends. What do you have? You have Joey and Chandler living in one apartment in the same complex. Next door, you have Monica, Rachel, and Phoebe. So again, you have three females and two males, all young and in their early 20 somethings, figuring out life and blah 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 blase, right? Are we going to pretend that they didn't copy that concept from Living Single? They even shot the theme song right down the street from where Living Single shot their opening intro, as well as they were both shot on the same set, not the same exact set, but they were shot in the same on the same production, in the same production place. Now, what pisses me off about the copy is not even that, they copied, because again, Friends was a good show. We all love Friends. We enjoyed the characters that had its funny moments, just as well like Living Single. But my problem is, Living Single didn't, live to see 10 seasons like Friends did. Living Single, the actors, on Friends, they ended up getting paid $1 million an episode. The actors from Living Single never got that. Their DVDs went into syndication. Living Single never got that. Now both these shows are syndicated on TV, so all the actors are definitely still getting their royalties on both shows, Living Single and Friends. But with Friends, they're getting even more because they've been released on DVD sets. Now, when you look up, Living Single, the reason why they said they never released the full 6 seasons of Living Single, as a DVD, thing, is because it didn't have an audience. So how did Living Single not have an audience if it survived 6 seasons, starred Kim Coles, who was once featured in Living Color, which was a groundbreaking comedy sketch TV show. Queen Latifah, who was already an established and well-respected hip hop artist by this time. And then, Erica Alexander, who was once featured on the Cosby Show. So, I'm just lost as to, and then again, it had a cult following. It still has a cult following. And people still watch the reruns. That's why you see it aired on multiple, stations, black and white. So how does it not have an audience? I feel like they don't want to release it as a DVD set because they know damn well it's going to outsell anything Friends could have ever done. And again, this is no hate to Friends, but it just shows you, how they go and copy, black art and make, even more money off of it, as well as the people who are participating in the projects. Again, I get that the, Friends, they all, band together and they went to, producers and was like, look, y'all making a ton load of money. We are the cast of the show. We are the show. So without us, y'all have nothing. We want $1 million per episode. And they got that shit. And that's fair. I'm pretty sure the producers is like, it's not worth losing, our stars. So we might as well give them what they want to be paid. It's not like they asking for a lot. That's not really a lot. they make a lot of money off of, every, rerun or ticket. You got to remember advertisements is where they make that money. So, the more ads, the more the more episodes run, the more money they make. So, they didn't mind giving them that, million per episode. And then this was like, later on in the seasons, probably about seven, eight, like the last three seasons, so they waited, a good while, and it was like, y'all want us to finish this out. We need our money. Like, look at what happened with the game. It was a classic black TV show. It was funny for the first 3 or 4 seasons. The fourth season might have premiered on BT, or I think the fourth season ended on the CW, and then the fifth season started on BT. Whatever the case may have been, the show itself changed. The writers left, and it became a whole new show. And then Melanie and Durbin, they were the stars of the show, which they were. Pooch Hall and Tia Mowry were the stars of that show, and they didn't want to pay them more or pay them what they was worth, so they bounced. And the show, it went downhill from there. Not saying that Lauren London and Blue weren't great additions, but like the game, you notice it just well. Like if you watch the game from seasons one, two, three, like every episode was hilarious. They had meanings, of course, but it was about the game and it was about the players. That solely changed. Like I love the double entendre of the game when it's within itself, but they didn't want to pay the two lead actors and actresses their money, so they left. You know why so? Why is it when it comes to, the black actors, they don't, or black actresses, they don't want to pay them, their worth, or, give them the pay raise they need if they've been carrying the show for so long. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Living Single premiered first, and it was already a hit when it premiered, and they saw that and ran with it and went on and created Friends. And like I said, that's why you can tell that they had already started writing the right version after the black people pitched it to them, because how did they come up with it so fast? Right? Right? And again, it takes a while to, write things, put things into production. So if Living Single premiered in '93, then that means they probably started writing it in, 1990, for, revitalizing, finalizing the script and characters by '92, and then pitching it by, pitching it, and then, get like, it takes at least 2 years, 2.5 years to get all that stuff done. So you can bet that's for sure. And you can tell just by watching both shows that Friends copied Living Single, but Living Single is not getting the same treatment as Friends, which is a goddamn shame. That's just, something to think about. And, we need to put together, like a petition or something to get, Living Single released on, on DVD. Cause shit, I want it released on DVD. You gotta watch it, online, or, catch it on TV. Like I want to own the DVD set so I can show, my kid, Living Single. Like, the best thing about Living Single for young black people is just like what Bill Cosby did for young black people with A Different World. You see, young black people owning businesses. You seen them trying and failing and trying and failing with whether it was work, relationships, and things like that. It was good to, see us, and they were all in a good light. Sinclair was an actress with a, a funny personality. Khadijah was more serious, owning her own magazine company. Maxine was a lawyer, for God's sakes. Kyle was a stockbroker. Obi, was good with his hands. He was construction work. He was the custodian. So, they all had skills. Like, it wasn't even necessarily that they worked in America. Like, they all had a skill set. Like, Khadijah was good in media, Max was good at law. Kyle was good at, stockbroking, like, numbers, math, things like that. So again, Living Single is groundbreaking within those aspects. And also, just, the warm feeling of the show, even the jokes, it's great to have a show catered towards people who look like you, who act like you, sound like you, and think like you, because it gives you hope, and to know, that what you're doing isn't wrong, or what you're doing isn't necessarily failing, but you're just trialing and error. And like I said, it's just good to see positive roles of black people on TV. We had shows like Living Single back in the '90s, and now on TV, all you have is shows, like Love and Hip Hop. So, you got to think about stuff like that. Like, and again, this isn't even a dig towards Love and Hip Hop. I know a lot of people like the drama, they like the raunchiness, they like the embarrassment of it all, is whatever. If that's what you're into it, but you can't negate the fact that, that's not really a good example of, young or middle-aged black people that should be put on television, right? So again, Living Single, again, one of my favorite shows growing up, and I really wish they would release, DVD sets like they did Friends.